सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Okay, so it's nearly 5-6 weeks gap. So you must be remembering we were doing 10th Skanda in Valmiki Ramayanam, talking about Nachiketas. Correct?
Uncle, that was yesterday. You're testing us, Uncle.
Uncle is testing us to know whether we are sleeping or not.
Uncle is testing us.
ஆறு வாரம் ஆயிடுது. சரி, இப்போ வந்து லைஃப்ல எல்லாருமே ஒவ்வொரு நிமிஷமும் பிரச்சனைகளை தீர்க்கத்துல தான் இருக்கும். அது பண்ண வேண்டியதுதான். பிரச்சனை இருந்தா தீர்க்க வேண்டியதுதான். ஆனா நம்ம என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா, sorry, I started speaking in Tamil. Okay. See, all of us all the time are trying to solve our problems. You have to do if there are problems. Yes, there are problems. What are the problems? Body has pain. Mind is agitated. Intellect is confused. Like that, we have problems for the body, mind, and intellect. Is there any problem that does not belong to the body, mind, or intellect? There is no problem that does not belong to the body, mind, or intellect. You are not the body because you have a body. You see the body. What you have, you are not. You have a dog, you are not the dog. You see the dog, you are not the dog. Similarly, you see the mind. You have the mind, you are not the mind. You see the intellect. You see your confusions. You see your clarity. Therefore, you, the seer, is different from the seeing. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the intellect. All problems belong to the body, mind, or intellect. They are like your car, computer, mobile. There are all the time there are problems in the car, in the computer, in the mobile. We have to attend to them. But we cannot think when they have problems, our life is lost. They are instruments. They have wear and tear. You have to use them, but you can't be lost in them. Similarly, the body has to be used, the mind has to be used, the intellect has to be used. They will have problems because they are progressing. They are moving. Things that move, things that progress will have wear and tear. So they will have problems. You attend to them. But why should you think that you are the body, mind, intellect? You say, I am fat, I am lean. You are not fat, you are not lean. Body is fat, body is lean. I am agitated, you are not agitated. Mind is agitated. I am confused, you are not confused. Intellect is confused. So this is all spirituality. It says, you are different from the body, mind, intellect. So recognize that and you find out who you are. You are the one who illumines the body's functions, the mind's functions, and the intellect functions. Without you, they cannot function. But without them, you exist because in your sleep, your body is not acting, your mind, intellect are dormant, yet you are living and you are also conscious that you have no thoughts. So you exist without them, but they cannot exist without you. Knowing this, all the time you have to suggest to you, whenever a fear comes to mind, COVID, what will happen, people are dying, suggest to mind, the death, so-called death, is going to the next step of evolution. Next step of evolution. Everybody through death goes to the next level of evolution. Okay. Similarly, mind is agitated. You have to suggest mind is disturbed. It's okay. That is the nature of the mind. It's a monkey. The intellect is confused. So what? I don't need it. This is how you have to live. Arjuna, for a moment, got confused that he is the body. All the people standing before him are the bodies. So he saw death of everything. That confusion, that delusion of one's own identity brings in agitations. So Sri Gurudev beautifully says, grief is the language of delusion. Grief is the language of delusion. What delusion? I am this body. That is the starting delusion. Once you are the body, then mind, intellect all follow. So the solution does not lie in trying to make the body eternal, in trying to make the mind free from thoughts. The solution lies in detaching from them, knowing your identity, all the time remembering this, play your role in the external world. This is the solution. Play your role in the external world. External world is not meant to be perfect. It cannot be perfect. If it is perfect, there is no progress, there is no evolution. Because you have the imperfection of hunger, there is production of food. Therefore, economy is there. Because you have sickness, there are doctors. Because you have weather problems, there is housing. So, world survives through imperfections and problems. The governor of the world is a perfectionist. He knows what exactly anyone wants at that moment for his experience, so that he can evolve. All the experiences that we get, pleasant or unpleasant, are exactly what we need. Envisage by that all loving, all knowing, all caring God. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to question. No, you are the self, you are God, and then whatever He makes you do, go through that. This is life. This is an intelligent, beautiful life. Because Arjuna got confused, confusion cannot be cleared by doing something. I am confused about birth and death. By making some money, you will not be saved from death. By gathering more friends, you will not be saved from death. By getting power, you will not be saved from death. Because death is a confusion. confusion can be removed by knowledge. Therefore, Sri Krishna gives this knowledge about one's own self. It's called Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya, to clear the confusion of Arjuna. Having done that, clear the confusion, now, even though what I said is simple, everybody doesn't grasp as it is told, because their minds are preoccupied with several things. Their minds are preoccupied with several things. Just now, cricket match is going on, 4th day test match. So their mind is in that. Or dinner, who is coming or who is going, where to go for dinner. Or tomorrow office problem. So with this, the mind doesn't receive the message as it is told. Why? Because they have value for cricket, they have value for dinner, they have value for the office problem. So it is your values that produce agitations. How do you get these values? Because of your identifying with the body, you are continuously working for its security. The feeling of insecurity, working for security, you develop certain values. These values give you agitations. These values give you agitations. Now, you have to know that I use the body, I use the mind, I use the intellect. But my security, my happiness does not depend upon the body, does not depend upon the mind, does not depend upon the intellect. Thus, when you know, assert and live, that is Jnana Yoga. If you are not able to, because of your excessive values for the outside world, you have to reduce these values. These values are born out of several lives of gathering, imprints, inclinations, likes and dislikes, subconscious mind, put together called vasanas. Vasanas. So, when these vasanas are very strong, you cannot grasp as it is told. When the vasanas are medium, you can grasp, but still your half mind is in the world. So at that time, bring that mind to love God. That is Bhakti Marga. When it is completely thick, Karma Yoga. When it is half and half, Bhakti Marga. When vasanas are very thin, Jnana Marga. So having given the Jnana Marga, Bhagavan sees Arjuna still is not completely clarified, and hence he gives the Karma Yoga. He gives the secret of Karma Yoga in many verses, mainly 2 verses there. 38 of 2nd chapter, Sukha Dukke Same Prutva, Labha Labho Jaya Jayu, Tato Yudhaya Yudhyasva, Naivam Papam Avaksasi. Because Sukha and Dukkha, Labha, Alabha, Jaya, Ajaya belong to the body, mind, intellect. Do not get excited in Sukha. Do not get depressed in Dukkha. The moment you get excited and depressed, your consciousness goes up and goes down. There is no equanimity, and hence you suffer. So when Sukha comes, okay, it came, it goes. It will go. Dukkha comes, it will go. I am a witness. Sukha comes, somebody gives a good sweet, enjoy. Don't think about it, past and future. Dukkha comes, don't again think about the past and future. Go through that minute, thinking Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Thus, it will go. So Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Alabha. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose money. Many times your losing money has been the stepping stone for your success. Sometimes good name, sometimes bad name. Sometimes victory, sometimes loss. All these belong to the body, mind, intellect. Nothing. Your victory cannot make you free from death. Your money cannot make you free from death. Your comforts cannot make you free from death. So no, these things only have a temporary value. I am the God. I don't need any one of them. So in that equanimous mind, when the opposites happen, sukha, dukkha, labha, alabha, jaya, ajaya, you go through life, fight the battle of life. That's what he says. Yuddhaya yuddha. Fight the battle of life only for the sake of fighting. What do you mean for the sake of fighting? In going through life's experiences to bring down the subconscious mind, throw it out. And because now you have known the self, you are not working depending on the results, you don't pick up new vasanas. While you work for a cause, the cause of freeing yourself from these limitations, the cause of God, who is there in all, goodness, helping, service. When you work like that, your mind doesn't depend on results, so you don't produce new vasanas. So in Karma Yoga, the existing vasanas are exhausted, new vasanas are not produced. After some time, your mind is clear, you become Sthita Prajna. So it was said there, what is Sthita Prajna? A man who has cast off all his desires, because desires happen when there is incompleteness. This person is so complete and enjoying the happiness of the self, he doesn't have any desire. And then he is equanimous when sukha, dukkha comes, labha, labha comes, and he is not perturbed when pleasant things happen, unpleasant things happen. He moves, but moves like a tortoise. When there is danger for his experience of the self from the sensuous world, he withdraws the senses unto the self, like the tortoise withdraws its limbs unto the shell. And from here onwards, he takes a few verses, the danger of living at the sense level. He says, it is because you think of the sense objects continuously, you get attached to them. When you get attached to them, there are obstacles, you get angry. When you get angry, you lose all sense of balance and proportions, and you get deluded. And in that delusion, you lose memory of the right values, wrong values. And when memory is lost, your discrimination is lost. You are a human being because you can discriminate. When discrimination is lost, you cease to be human being. Therefore, control the senses. When you control the senses, sense objects recede by themselves. What is the benefit? How do I live? I need to be happy. Without sense object experience, how will I be happy? He says, when you withdraw from them, the happiness that you get inside is so big, like an ocean, which is not perturbed, receiving a few gallons, or a few gallons dried up. You are so full, you are not bothered about the sensuous world, paltry joys. The joy that you know, the sensuous people don't know. The world to which they are awake, you have no entry, you are not interested. So thus, he has given Jnana Marga, Karma Marga, and then he also said the Bhakti, because how you can control the senses? Mat Paraha, keeping your mind on me, tuning to me, keeping me at the goal. So Karma Marga, Bhakti Marga, Jnana Marga, all have been told. What has to be told is to renounce the ego. That is called sannyasa. Move in the world, you have no choice. When you move in the world, move without attachments and aversions, without sense of I and me. That is sannyas. That is taken up in the last two verses. Okay, let us do. Verse number 71. Vihaya kaman yah sarvan. Vihaya kaman yah sarvan. Pumancharati nishkuha. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. Shashanti madhigacchati. Vihaya kaman. This is renouncing all desires. Sarvan, all. Puman, this person in this body. Charati, moves. Nispruha, free from attachment. Nirmamaha, free from sense of possessions. Nirahankaraha, free from I-ness. I am the body. Shashanti madhigacchati. That is, at that time, he will get peace. So what is sannyas? To renounce all that gives you sorrow and agitation. This is defined in the 5th chapter Gita. Dukkha samyoga viyogam. Now you are attached to sorrow. Whatever you do are producing sorrow. Dukkha samyogam. Dukkha samyoga viyogam. Detaching from your attachment to sorrow is yoga. You say, yeah, this spirituality, I am not interested, I am too young. Okay, go suffer. Who says no? Because spirituality is detaching from all sources of sorrow. So when this man renounces his ego in the form of I-ness and my-ness, I and my are ego, renounces this, which are the causes of all agitations. He is detached from likes and dislikes, no desires. That mind is calm. Desires cause agitations. Attachment causes agitations. I and mind cause agitations. In fact, what is attachment? I plus I want is attachment. So when you are detached, I is not there, I want is not there, and the doer is not there, and the enjoyer is not there. Therefore, you are peaceful. This is sannyasa. Next also is on sannyasa. Next and the last verse. Yesha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimukhyati sthitva syamanta kalepi brahma nirvana mruchyati. Yesha, this brahmi, glorious, biggest sthiti status. Na yenam prapya, having got this, vimukhyati, he no more gets deluded. What is happiness? What is sorrow? What is self? What is not self? What is me? What is not me? He has no more any confusion. So what happens? He becomes enlightened. He attains samadhi. So you should try for that. All of us should try for that. Oh, they're too late. No, I should have started this end. Now I am 82. Right? I am 82. How will, what is the benefit of this? He says, Tikva syam antakale brahma nirvana vichyati. Even in the last minute, you know this and stay there, you get liberation. How in the last minute also? Now I ask you, do you know Naduvangare? You do not know Naduvangare. I now tell you, Naduvangare is annexed to Annanagar. Naduvangare is a locality which is annexed to Annanagar, Chennai. You have known that. Till 82, you didn't know. Now you have known that. Then what happens? Now you will be still ignorant of Naduvangare. Once that ignorance is gone, even at the age of 82, you have known it. Once you have known, even just 1 minute before death, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are the self, you are liberated from the identification of the body, mind, and intellect. This knowledge of the self is not a process of action. This knowledge of the self is not a product of time. And hence, if you are ready, if your mind is pure, you get it as the teacher speaks. So it can happen in the last minute also, because you have been thinking all the time. And that, your good luck, last minute it flashed into you. So when it flashes into you last minute, also, you get liberation. So I will think about the last minute, that's not possible. All the time you are thinking of various things, business, this, money attached to shares, attached to politics. How many people in the spiritual field also are more attached to politics than spiritual? If you are attached last minute, your mind is not available for that experience. So, if it has to happen even the last minute, you start practicing it. Your good luck can bring that experience even in the last. With this, having said, given the cause of confusion, the cause of sorrow to be confusion, given the knowledge, given the means karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, and then sannyasa yoga. Second chapter becomes the essence of Gita, which is the essence of all Upanishads. Second chapter is complete summary of the Gita, which is complete essence of the Upanishad. So if you have attended to second chapter with attention, otherwise you revise now. There are videos and Gurudev's this thing, pen drives also you can get with lovely videos. Okay, you don't do that. That is free, Gita 365. Download it and listen every day, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You do that, you save yourself. Otherwise, you ruin yourself. So second chapter alone is enough if you are completely connected. If not so, not only if not so, if you get everything with second chapter, what will people like me do? We need to do something like this all the time because of our Rajoguna. We need this. You don't need. So for our sake, let us continue the class. We take the third chapter. So in the second chapter, he is given of the Jnana. So Arjuna says, when I said, this is horrible, this war. I wanted to run away. What you said, running away doesn't solve the problem. You must fight the battle of life. You've given me several reasons. I accepted. I was ready to fight. Then what you did, you glorify the path of sannyasa finally. I wanted to take sannyasa. You said that is not good. Action you must do. I was willing. Then finally you said sannyasa is the best. Why are you talking like this? Confused. Krishna, you are confused. Arjuna is telling Krishna, you are confused. Why are you going on shifting your stance? So Arjuna asked this doubt. It's not because Arjuna may have the doubt. It is because Arjuna wanted to clear our doubts. So Arjuna asked this doubt to Bhagavan. What does he ask? Let us see. Jayasi Arjuna vacha Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkin karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. Jayasi superior chet karmanaha te mata buddhi. In your opinion, Jnana is superior to action. Karmanaha, action. Jayasi, superior. Buddhihi, jnana. Tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi. Then why are you engaging me in this terrible field of activity? You feel Jnana Marga is good. then why are you wanting me to do the action? Not only at this terrible action where we are going to see the whole people wiped out, lakhs, millions and millions. At the end of Mahabharata war, only 7 people were saved. So this terrible work, why are you wanting me to do? If you feel Nana is superior, Bhagavan answers. Moreover, then one more codicil for what he asked. Vyamisreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadegam vada nistitya yena sreyohamapnuyam. Vyamisrena, perplexing, confusing vakyena statements, buddhim, my intellect, mohayasiva me, you are deluding. Tadegam vada nistitya. Don't say action is good, karma is good. This is also good. That Tadekam vada nistitya. Ekam nistitya. Having decided one. Ekam nistitya. Tadekam vada nistitya. Yena, by which aham sreyaha apnuyam. I shall gain the ultimate good. You have to decide and tell me, one, what is good for me? You are saying sometimes this is good, sometimes this is good. You seem to be in doubt. You seem to be in confusion. Please sit in a corner, decide, and tell me what is good. Do not go on changing your stance. That's what it appears Arjuna says. No, Arjuna is not that bad because he has faith and devotion. So what he uses there, he says, Vyamisrena yuva, as though confusing. He doesn't say you are confusing. To me, it is confusing. Vyamisrena yuva, buddhi mohayasiva. It seems to me as if you are deluding my intellect. Problem is not with you, problem is with me. So that humility should be there, faith in the teacher, otherwise whatever he says, it will not work. You should have faith on the teacher. Teacher can never be wrong. So Arjuna doesn't think Krishna is confused. Krishna is deluding. He says it is looking like that. So please clear my doubt, clear my confusion. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha Sura Prokta Maya Naga Karma Yogena Yoginam, sorry. Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha Sura Prokta Maya Naga Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Arjuna, there is no confusion, Arjuna. You need both. But they have a place. Supposing you have 2 children. One is 7 years. Another is 17 years. 17 years just going to college. So you buy a scooter for travel. Give it to the 17-year-old child. 7-year-old child says, why only for her? Why not me? You say, she is going to college. Then that child asks, why you don't send me to college? If college is good, better, why you are sending me to school? If college is good, why are you sending me to school? If sannyasa is good, jnana is good, why are you asking me to do karma? Because sannyasa is not taking orange robes, leaving the house, escaping responsibility. That is not sannyasa. Sannyasa is renouncing the ego. I am this body, ignorance. Renouncing the ego. I am the body, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Renouncing this is sannyasa. To come to this, you have to reduce your vasanas. Vasanas can be reduced only through right way of living, actions. So karma yoga is like going to school. Sannyasa is like finishing college. So one leads to the other. They are not opposed also, nor can be simultaneously done, or is a choice. You can't say, I have a choice, I will go to IIT, no school. You have no choice. You cannot say, we'll do both together, school and IIT. Cannot do. You have to do school, then go to IIT. You have to practice Karma Yoga, purify the mind, then take sannyas. Because Arjuna doesn't know this, he is asking Krishna, you are confusing me. If ultimate is jnana, why are you wanting me to do Karma Yoga? So the word used there is nishtha path. Path is singular. Vividha, two segments. This path, singular, has two segments. One, Karma Yoga. Two, Jnana Yoga. The path of education has two segments. One, schooling. Two, college. One path only, but two segments. Spirituality also one path only, two segments. Karma and Jnana. Okay, then he says, Na karmana manarambha naishkaryam purushoshmute na cha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Sannyasa has several stages. Ultimate stage is samadhi. Samadhi means mind, intellect are in union with the self. They have no waves. Waves are not formed in the mind level or intellectual level. They become one with the self. There are no agitations. That is called samadhi. That is because of sannyasa. At that stage, one does not have desires because he experiences completeness. Why you have desires? Do you have a desire to have head on the shoulders? It's already there. You won't have a desire. You may have a desire to have something in the head. That is different. Right? But you won't have a desire to have head on the shoulders. So if you have everything, if you have total happiness, why you will have desire? You are feeling you need this, you need that, because you are feeling incompleteness. Why are you feeling incompleteness? Because you are thinking you are the body, you are the body. Why are you thinking you are the body? Because you do not know you are the self. So therefore, ignorance that I am the self makes me feel I am incomplete. Hence desires. Desires make me to act with egocentric desires. So this is called ajnana, ignorance. Kama, desires. Karma, actions. Ajnana, kama, karma. These three are three phases of the same ignorance. So desire is because of ignorance. Karma is because of desire. So when it says state of actionlessness, naishkarmya is one of the states of that highest state. As I said, one you call it samadhi. The same samadhi is also called naishkarmya, actionlessness. Through sannyasa, through jnana, you reach actionlessness. Doesn't mean you don't act. You reach a state where you've gone beyond the ignorance. Because action is because of desire, desire because of ignorance. When you say you have no action, the cause ignorance is removed. You've gone beyond ignorance. That is what is meant by naishkarmyam. It's not that you don't act. And then, nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Just because you renounce a home, responsibilities, you do not gain that ultimate experience. Siddhi. Siddhi is not this Siddhi of materializing. They are all mental. They are not the ultimate. Ultimate Siddhi is to be established in Samadhi. Merely renouncing externally, you don't get that. So, merely renouncing karma, you do not go beyond the ignorance. Merely renouncing sannyasa, you don't get samadhi. That means karma renunciation should lead you to jnana. Because of jnana, you should do sannyasa. That is the right process. Nahi kasti kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krutve karyate hyavashak karma pakaryate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jai gunaihi. Bhagavan now says, why? For an ordinary man, he can never for a single minute also keep quiet. Nothing to do. What do? Immediately phone. Phone some friend, somebody, right? Nothing to do. You don't keep quiet. Phone somebody, do this, do that. Otherwise, scratch the head, right? Do something. Some people sit on the mat in the yajna. They go on picking up those threads because nothing else to do. So inside, the mind is not calm. You feel like going on doing something. So nobody can even for a minute be free from actions. Not only that, breathing is an action. Your physiological functions are all actions. Can you get rid of them? Even in sleep, all these go, breathing, physiological. The moment there is no activity in you, Gurudev humorously says, others around you will become active. The moment there is no activity in you, breathing stop, all functions stop, others become active to dispose you of. So nobody, while living, can be free from actions. Therefore, there is no freedom from action. There is freedom in action. You have no freedom not to act, but while acting, you have the freedom to renounce doership, enjoyership, attachment to results. You have freedom in action. You have no freedom from action. Nobody can be free from action, even a sannyasi, even Krishna is going to say later. When you sleep, if Bhagavan also sleeps, who will maintain your systems? Your systems are functioning while you sleep. If he also sleeps, Janagadamana, you are gone. He doesn't sleep when you sleep. He is maintaining your systems. Naikasti Chanamapi Jatu Tistatya Karma. Karyatehi Avashak Karma. Sarva Prakriti Jai. Born out of this subconscious mind, vasanas. Every minute, everybody will be active. Nobody will be keeping quiet even for a split second. So don't try to escape action. It's not practical. You try to leave your attachment to results. Leave your sense of ego. That freedom you have. So he says, so what am I supposed to do? If I have no choice from action, what am I supposed to do? He says, Karmendriyani samyamya ye aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mikyacharasya uchyate. He tells everybody in the house, tomorrow morning onwards, I'm starting meditation. For half an hour, nobody disturbs me. He sits for meditation, half an hour. He thinks half an hour, but he cannot sit more than 10 minutes. right? So he sits. He told everybody. Then what he is thinking? What will be breakfast now? Right? Because smell is coming. Fungal smell. Right? What is that smell? What is the breakfast coming? Somebody's phone is ringing up. Who is ringing up now? Somebody's phone is ringing up. Who is ringing up now? Right? Like this, the mind goes on wandering. Nose smelling, ears hearing, all actions are going on. You are sitting for meditation. You have controlled movement, but you not control the mind. Movement you control and sit for 10 minutes, but mind is wandering. So what is the benefit of that? At least better be a decent man, get up and do what you like. Don't be a hypocrite. So he uses the same word here. Karmendriyani samyamya aste manasasparan, controlling the sense of external senses. Goes on thinking mentally. Indriyarthan vimudhatma, thinking of the sense object. Vimudhatma, mudhatma deluded. Vimudhatma doctorate in delusion. Mudhatma deluded. Vimudhatma viseshena mudhatma doctorate in delusion. This stupid fellow abstaining from physically abstaining from senses, mentally going on thinking them. So mithyachara kuchate. He is called a hypocrite. He is called a hypocrite. So what you should do? Yespindriyani manasa niyamyarabhate arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktassa visishyate. Instead of abstaining from the sense object and mentally brooding, control the senses through the mind. Eyes, seeing something opposite. It's happening. This fellow is living. Eyes are focused, but he cannot see without the mind going to that. If mind is elsewhere, even if somebody is standing before you, you won't recognize. After 10 minutes, you ask, when did you come? That fellow has been standing before you 10 minutes. Right? Because mind is elsewhere. So without the mind, senses cannot function. So merely don't stop the senses. Withdraw the mind from them. Withdraw the mind from them and place that mind in self. Withdraw the mind from the senses and place the mind in the self. Karmendriyani manasa. Yestvindriyani manasa. Niyamyarabhate arjuna. Karmendriyai karma yogam. Asaktassa visishyate. One who has controlled his senses through the mind and then does actions, what is necessary. He is acting what is necessary, but his senses are under control. Then he excels because he is not dissipated. He is doing what has to be done. Action, this has to be done, no, he is doing. But mind is not wandering. Senses are not wandering. He is focusing on the work. That itself becomes meditation. When you focus on the work, you are with the work and consciousness. You become clearly aware of the consciousness. That is meditation. So he gave two statements. Merely controlling the senses, thinking of the mind, hypocrite. What you should do, control the senses through the mind and do the actions that has to be done. So he is concluding that topic by one more verse. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo kya karmanaha sharira yatra pitate na prasidhyeda karmanaha. So therefore, you do the work that is allotted to you. Right now I had to do this, do that. Don't think about the past. I have failed so many times. What happened this morning? What will happen tomorrow? Ego is past and future. Now, supposing I ask you, who are you? You will say, I am a man. That's past. I am a woman. That is past, body you got. I am a graduate. That is past. I am a millionaire. That is past. Or I am going to be doctor, future. Cut off past and future. There is no ego. Cut off past and future. There is no ego. So while you have a work on hand, do not think of the past and future. Concentrate on the work. There is no ego there. Some people ask us, how can I cut off from the past? I have to learn from the experience. How can I cut off from the future? I have to learn planning. In past, there are two things, regrets and experience. Leave the regrets, take the experience. In future also, there are two things, anxiety and planning. Leave the anxiety, take the planning. What you do in work, you, having gained the experience earlier, now you plan the work. While you are working, do not think of the entire plan also. Focus on the work. Do not allow the mind to go into past and future. You have planned, okay. Now this is the work to be done. Do it. Focus on the work. Don't think past and future. So that is called Karma Yoga. That's meditation actually. And if you don't do that, even physical existence is not possible. To live, you have to eat. Somebody cannot eat for you because you were a king. I am king of Saudi Arabia. So I won't eat. My secretary will eat. You will not live. You have to eat. Okay, eating, I will eat. Going to toilet, my secretary will go. You will not live. You have to go to toilet. So even for living, you have to act. To be healthy, you have to act. Sharira yatrapi na prasidhyena karmanaha. For a man who doesn't do actions, even the journey of the body is not possible. So you have to act, but all actions do not produce vasanas. All actions does not make you dependent. All actions do not give you sorrow. Actions done with ego, they give you sorrow. Actions done for the sake of others or a good cause, for totality, for God, they don't produce vasanas. Vasanas produce when you want it again and again. That will happen only when you are egoistic, want to enjoy, want to gain, want to gather. When you have no attachment to results, you are working because this has to be done for the welfare of others, Loka Sangraha, for the good of others. You are not dependent on the results. When you are not dependent on the results, it doesn't produce reactions, which are called vasanas. So work for the sake of others, welfare of others, welfare of totality. That others start from home. Some people will say, others, I will work for society, I will ignore my home. That is not correct. God has given you the responsibility of your home. Take care of your home first. Then whatever extra energies, resources are there, spend it for others. Do not ignore the home. So that way, when you are working for others. That is called yajna, for a cause. Working for ego is karma. Working for a noble cause, for the welfare of others is called a yajna. So actions done in the spirit of yajna do not bring reactions. Only actions that you do for ego, selfishness, bring reactions. So he says, yajna karmanam yatra yokuyam karma bandhanaha tadatham karma kaunteya Mukta Sanga Samachara. Yagnartha, for the sake of yajna. Karmanaha Anyatra, actions other than yajna. Actions other than yajna. Karma bandhanaha, ayam loke. They bring you dependence and bondage in this world. Tadartham karma kaunte. Therefore, do actions mukta sanga samachara, free from attachment. This acting without attachment is called yajna. Mukta sanga. Sanga means attachment. What is sanga? Attachment means depending on the results. I want this. With this, I will be complete. If I get this, I will be complete. I and I want is attachment, depending on the results. When this I and I want is not there, when you are not dependent on the results, mukta sangaha, that becomes yajna. So he said, do actions for yajna's sake. What is yajna? He defines in the second line. Doing actions without attachment. Right? Now, the glory of this yajna, he is going to talk the next few verses. How the spirit of yajna alone makes the world go through. The world is surviving because sun is giving you energy. Sun doesn't ask any payment for that. In fact, you curse on a wheel, but he blesses us all. He doesn't take rest. He doesn't expect anything from you. Without sun, there is no life. Same thing with Vayu. He doesn't say he is a saint. I will go through his nostrils. This fellow is a crook. I won't go through his nostrils. Vayu doesn't say that. It treats all same. Doesn't take 1 minute rest. Doesn't expect anything from you. Same thing with Varuna Bhagavan. Bhudevi allows all of us to stay. Agni, heat 98.4 degrees in you. So all these elements continuously are serving all living beings. How they are serving? Without expecting anything, without taking rest. That is called Yajna Bhava. So your life is possible because of the Yajna Bhava of several other cosmic factors, like the sun, moon, air, fire, etc. Otherwise, there is no life. So that is going to talk in the next few verses, which we shall take next week. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Namaha Hari Om. Thank you all.